GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered.
And that's MVS and Justin Watson.
With some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues.
If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up.
Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow,
comma, semicolon, period, next sentence.
to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man Jay Rich.
Yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up with Ray
And Jay.
in the morning.
My God.
How good is
Dude.
he? How good is freaking get it? GMGP. And yes, Jimbo, I am about to give y'all shit. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. It's Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself and my brother from another mother, Jordan Richards. That's your boy, Jay Rich. And yes, the people in the chat, Jay Rich, every single day. It's an over-under when we're going to start the show. Now, they're handicapping it. When is it? Is it when the timer starts? When faces are on the screen? We're on time every time, baby, because we're going to be here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. bright and early Central Standard Time to deliver football content, NFL content, college football, NBA. We talking about it all, and we do it with the good people right here in this chat. We love y'all. Lee, what's happening with you, baby? My dog, Sty Lee, in the building this morning. We got Leo Scott. He said, 903. Gonna feed families. Jay Rich, I'm gonna get that tatted on me. 903. Give me another one. We got Leo in the building. Shout out to my dog, Leo. Joe Hours in the building. What's going on with you, Joe? GMGP to you, baby. Dalton Watkins. Have not seen that name in the chat. So good morning to you, Dalton. I hope all is well wherever you are in the world. We got Cheeky Hobson in the building. JR Enterprise, Patrick Price, some of the loyal, faithful viewers, Leo Scott in the building. I see Walt in the building, Daniel Perry, Ricardo. You already know I said Jimbo. We got Brandon in the house too. What's happening with you, Brandon? Well, GQ's voice is gone, Jay Rich. How do I sound this morning? Do I sound good? That voice is shot. How do I sound?
You sound all right. A little raspy. A lot of coaching going on this weekend. So hopefully you had fun, but you still got to put on a show for the people, right?
Yeah,
no
man,
excuses.
Don't
Haliburton on us.
Jay Rich, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not gonna lie. About midway through that final game on Sunday, I was about this close to canceling this damn show. I was like, ain't no way. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do it. We were at the ball field, Jay, from before 8 a.m. to about 8:30 p.m. yesterday. It was a long day of 6 and 8U baseball, but I am proud to say, Jay Rich, after all that time on the field, man, I got to give the biggest shout out to the two biggest supporters of this show. My little man, little GQ, little itty bitty GQ, my youngest big dog, 6U team. He made the All-Star team for the city. 6U team took down the championship, Jay Rich. They had to play back-to-back games yesterday on Sunday, and they got it done. 6U Blackland champions, Jay Rich. They got it done. So shout out to my little man, little Pooh Garvin down there. And then the big GQ, the little big GQ, my oldest. There we go right there. There's old RayGQue there. We got the medal around the neck. We got the All-Star. That's my big dog right there. So we took second place in this one. The little one won it. Took second place right here. Got a big ass ring. But it was a long day of sports. So I just got to shout out two people that watched the show. Two of the biggest supporters of the show. And Jay, I'm going to let you know, me and the little one probably going to be starting our own podcast very soon. So anybody out there that likes WWE, my littlest loves it. He is in love. And I think we're gonna do a little father-son WWE podcast. Man, I think that's about to happen very soon. But how was your weekend, Jay Rich? You see what I did. That was all I did all damn weekend.
It was a lot less eventful. Outside all day Saturday for a barbecue, and then all day inside on Sunday because it's getting hot out here, Ray. I know it don't get as hot as Texas, but You were in Florida, man. That humidity up here, 90%, 95% this morning. So I was not loving that too much. It was real hot. And thankfully for me, though, I went to the gym this morning, got up early, and they thought it was a good idea, Ray, to leave the front door open to the gym in 95% humidity. So it was basically like working out in a sweatbox. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun for me. So shout out to the gym for screwing me over.
So never hurt anybody. A hot workout never hurt anybody. That's good. And I just want to say, anybody out there, you know, we engage on this show. So for those of y'all that got little ones that do dope stuff, that are on the fitness scene, shout out to y'all too. And if you got your parents and kids in sports, y'all know what I mean. There is no such thing as a damn weekend. It's non-existent. You end work on Friday and you wake up and it's fucking Monday and you got to do it all over again. But we appreciate y'all being in the building. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, like the content. Jay Rich, there was a lot of news from around the world of sports. And you know we ain't going to talk about it until we get to the facts. Jay Rich, hit us straight.
The biggest news in the world of sports. Covered and brought to you by one man, Jordan Richards. This is Straight Facts.
So you're on mute.
Sorry,
you're on mute. You're on mute.
We're good.
Do it again. You're on mute.
The biggest news in the world of sports. Covered and brought to you by one man, Jordan Richards. This is Straight Facts.
All right, everybody. Round 2. Oh, my God.
Get it right.
You know what it was? I went into ESPN, and you know when they play those stupid videos when you're just trying to, like, look something up? It was playing in the background. I was like, is that on Ray's end? Because you should have it muted. Either way, we are getting to the biggest news, which, of course, is the NBA Finals, where Game 7, Ray.
Yeah.
My Oklahoma City Thunder, my MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, won it for the Thunder. And unfortunately, wasn't without some controversy, Ray. Tyrese Haliburton, late in the first quarter, probably, don't believe it's confirmed yet, tore his Achilles. And the Thunder were able to make way with the Pacers in the third quarter. Shai got it done. Jalen Williams got it done. The city of Oklahoma got it done. They won, Ray. Took them 7 games. It was close. But in the end, the better team won. How did you feel about the NBA Finals? Were you able to watch? As you mentioned, you were out and about most of the day yesterday. Did you catch the end of the Finals, and what did you think of the performance by Shai and the rest of the team?
Yeah, Jay, I caught the end. I think I got to it around like the third quarter, middle of the third. So Haliburton had already gotten injured. So I didn't even see the play until probably like the fourth quarter, like late fourth when I went to look it up. But congratulations to OKC. I think the most impressive thing, whether you're a fan of the NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, is the team building that organization was able to do. And I believe they've got everyone under contract. They got all these future picks.
And 2 first-round picks this year.
2 first-round picks. Like is it Sam Presti, correct? Is Sam Presti the GM in OKC?
I believe so, yeah. I don't know why I'm blanking on that, but yeah, I believe it's Sam Presti.
But whoever built that team, I mean, they put together a youthful monster that you look across the NBA now, and we'll talk about another big deal that happened. Here we go. I mean, is this the start of a Thunder reign for a little bit? Congratulations to that city. Congratulations to SGA. That Thunder team was a good team. And this was in the Pacers, man. That was a good series. Yeah. You know, a lot of people didn't think that series would be much of anything. They took it to Game 7, and at one point, even without Haliburton, I believe they chopped it to 10 with a couple of minutes left in the game. They chopped the score down to 10. But congrats to Oklahoma City Thunder. Jay, they got it done, baby.
Yeah, they held on. It was dicey because at the beginning of the third, nobody could make a shot. The Pacers couldn't make a shot. It was really just what they got from TJ McConnell. And then in the fourth, it was like nobody on OKC wanted to make a shot. It got within, I believe, 13 and maybe even 10 when Mathurin started to kind of go on a run. Yep. And ultimately, they were able to close it out. But, I mean, for a lot of that game, Ray, it was really just Shai. When they needed the point, when they needed an assist, when they needed just about anything, it was always Shai creating. So I think when you look to the series, you know, Game 5, he struggled a bit. And especially game 4, he struggled. There was moments where he didn't do his job as the MVP, but when it was all on the line, he obviously got it done. So very happy for him. Very rare air. One of the most successful seasons any individual can possibly have in the NBA, winning the MVP, winning the scoring title, and winning the finals MVP. I believe there's only 4 players in NBA history.
Crazy.
It's Jordan, it's
Crazy.
Wilt, and I forget who the other one is.
Maybe Kareem. I mean, he's up there
Kareem might have been the other one, yeah.
with
like insane.
all-time greats. I mean, what a performance from SGA. And just quickly off the cuff, Jay, just without looking at anything, he won the MVP. Is he one of the 3 best players in the NBA? You've got Jokic. We talked about Nikola Jokic on the last show being probably the best player in the NBA, that he just goes out there and hoops and goes home. SGA top 3 in the league right now. I know he won MVP.
I think you'd probably have to have him in the top 3.
Yeah.
I think you'd probably have to have him in the top 3. Yeah. Like, it's just, he's too good to not at least consider him in that top 3, because Jokic is going to be everyone's probably number 1 player. And I think a lot of people would still, you're building a team and starting a franchise. You may take Giannis, right? Because Giannis is an absolute freak as well, right? But he's up there for sure. It's just kind of how you want to weigh what he does well versus kind of some of his shortcomings, because there was moments where he wasn't doing his job and getting it done. And he's not able to score, I think, as proficiently as some of the greatest stars have been, but he does bring a lot of elements to his game as well. And obviously the playmaking was like, oh my God, probably one of the best performances from a playmaking perspective he's had in the entire postseason. So that was pretty unreal, but definitely in the top 3. Really, really good.
You talked about Tyrese Haliburton. Not confirmed right now, but went down, I believe in the first quarter. The game was tied 16-all.
Yeah.
When he went down, he I don't know if you guys saw the play, but he stops to just kind of push off that leg, and then you see the back of his calf, leg,
yeah. His
you
calf
want to call
pops.
it, heel.
Once the calf pops, it's
kind of
pretty
much
over.
And he played with a calf strain, and this is just, dude, I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I hate when I see it. I mean, having gone through that, I'd rather let me break a bone than do that shit again, Jay. I'm just telling you right now, that is an injury. I was doing something the other day. I don't know if I was running around with the boy. I did something, and I started running. I was like, man, I need to stop because
don't feel
I
right.
don't want to. I don't want to tear my other Achilles. I just that thought in my mind. I was like, I don't want to do it. Feel bad for Tyrese Haliburton. I hope it's not that, but that's definitely what it looked like. And it's just crazy. Over the past 3 months, we've had, Jason Tatum go down with a ruptured Achilles tendon. We had Damian Lillard also go down over the past, I think this was in May, with a ruptured Achilles tendon. And now we're dealing with Tyrese Haliburton, 3 superstars.
3 in one
in the
postseason
NBA.
is crazy.
Yeah, 3 in like 3 months, Jay Rich, is even more wild. So my question to you, and we were kind of talking about this in our private chat last night, is he went out there with a sore calf. We saw Kevin Durant do that. Was that his last finals with the Golden State Warriors? He went out there, calf was messed up, and next thing you know, boom, he ruptures his Achilles tendon. This feels like an injury that players are not going to F around with anymore. Like, it just the outcry, because it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So this wasn't like round 1 of the playoffs, the 8th seed versus everybody in the world was watching this moment, unless you were at a damn 8U baseball game in Thornton, Texas. You were watching the NBA Finals. But moving forward, players who have strained calves, calf isn't feeling right, it's a little tight. I think players are going to be like, hell no. I'm not going out there and risk it. Look at, and it was just a routine play. And that's what I tell everybody. You were there when I tore it was nothing. It wasn't like I was doing parkour, hopping off the side of damn buildings and doing shit like that. I'm just trying to turn up to pick up a first down. All Hallie was doing was trying to explode to get to a spot to make a play. So what are your thoughts about this injury and how it's going to impact not just NBA players? I mean, NFL too. Remember, and Scott Connor, shout out to Scott, he brought this up. Remember in 23 when Burrow had that calf injury and was hobbled for half the damn year? He was limping around all season. You're like, man, I really hope he doesn't get hurt. Like, how does this make you feel about players with this injury, and how do you think it's going to affect them moving forward?
That's tough because I think in the NBA, naturally, there'll be some caution because we have seen it pop up in the NBA quite a bit. Like, it's almost odd to think that most recently when it comes to Achilles injuries, at least unless I'm forgetting some, it's Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, they're like the two big ones that we remember. And of all the positions, quarterback, right? Like
Deshaun
the least
Watson
mobile.
as well.
Oh, yes. What was that?
Watson?
Yeah, Watson's other one. But it's weird that it's quarterbacks always. And so it's like, you know, you look at the NBA and kind of the way they move, and maybe there's more drive, right, off that back leg when they're tearing their Achilles than some other sports. And, you know, maybe it is the wear and tear of the season relative to the NFL and stuff. But I don't think it's going to work its way into the NFL from a caution perspective unless we see it start to pop up a little bit more and more. They're definitely much more concerned with the lateral movement, right, with the ACL tears, the MCL tears, and kind of those ligaments, more so than the Achilles, it seems. And I'm sure, obviously, they train and strengthen for both. But it does seem to be a bit more of a problem in the NBA, especially recently. And so I will be curious to see how that's kind of handled in the NBA, because even with Kevin Durant, he took some time off before the finals to get healthy or to try to, right? In the case of Haliburton, he just had to play. He felt like he had to play and played when he could and ultimately got hurt. But I don't think it's going to hurt us in the NFL. I think they're still going to continue to play when they can because we just haven't seen it pop up enough with, you know, skill position players, whether it's running backs or wide receivers or cornerbacks, etc.,
What do you think
where
about
they're
this
doing
comment?
that type of movement.
What do you think about this comment from Fredo? Shout out to Fredo. He said, can't sit out Game 7 in the finals, but definitely sitting out under any other circumstances, game series. Is it worth it? Like, was it worth it for Tyrese Haliburton to be out there for his team in Game 7 or rupture your damn Achilles or let me say risk or have the potential risk of rupturing it, which actually did happen? Is it? I mean, everyone said it was he had a calf strain. No, like you have a strained calf and you probably shouldn't be out there. He flirted with death the first game, disaster, the game before in Game 6, and he made it through. And he went out there in Game 7. Like, was it worth it, in your opinion? Like, if you were Haliburton, the Pacers organization, was it worth him being on the floor to put him in that position to rupture it versus playing? What are just your personal thoughts about that?
So I definitely would be playing, like 100%. Unless I was forced not to play by the organization, I'm playing, right? And you saw it in Game 6. He only played 23 minutes in Game 6, and he was phenomenal in that game. And he obviously didn't get hurt, and they won the game. And he didn't have to play a lot because they blew them out. Even look back to this game, they were right there in it. He hit 3 of 4 threes and was playing great. It looked like he maybe even could be the reason why they won the game versus Game 6, where he was a big part of it, but he definitely wasn't the reason. It was a team effort by everybody. And you saw it in the third and fourth quarter with him not on the floor, probably having went back into the locker room and seeing him. They were not ready to play at all. And OKC took advantage of that. So it's like, I understand where people are saying, like, you shouldn't play, but for him, I believe he's under an extension already, so his money's guaranteed. And, I mean, let's be honest. Do you think the Pacers even have a shot of making the finals next year, even if Halliburton is healthy, right? Because it's going to be easy in the East. They have a shot, but there's no guarantee,
yes, I'm not going to disrespect. If he were healthy, yeah, I'd give him a shot. They just did it.
For sure, but there's no guarantee. And so it could be his only finals, and that's why you have to play. That's exactly why you have to play.
This is interesting. A lot of people, the chat is divided. A lot of people are like, it's risk versus reward. Definitely not worth it. Worth it. If they won, it would have been worth it. If not, not at all. I mean, it's split both ways. And then Jimbo, I'm glad you asked this question. Jimbo said, Ray, when you tore yours, did you have any soreness or anything prior to rupturing? Any kind of signs at all? Jay, you were there. We were in the Airbnb, and I shit y'all not. I remember saying, man, I got to stretch. Like, I kept stretching my calves because they just felt, first of all, first and foremost, I had no business being out there. Let's just be honest. I hadn't played flag football in a long time. So that's numero uno. I had no business being out there in the first place. But neither here nor there. Going out there, I remember I kept stretching my calves. Like, I would go to the side of the stands, and I'll just kind of like you flex your foot up. I'm just stretching my calf the whole time. I'm like, I'm kind of tight. And y'all have seen the play. I've posted it on X. I caught the ball, went to run, and I thought someone kicked me. I was pissed. I looked back. I'm like, dude, we're playing flag football here, man. Yeah, man. Why you kick it stepping on my calf? And as soon as I took my damn cleat off, my foot just went like that. And I was like, I looked at you and I was like, Jay, I think I need to go to ER. I think something is very wrong with my ankle. So did I have a sign? Maybe
Not
in hindsight,
really.
looking back on it, but I don't know. I remember stretching in that Airbnb thinking, man, I'm pretty tight right now, but I'll loosen up when I get out there, and it did not happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and your play is crazy because you probably did more like actual physical work in just like getting ready and like preparing for the first like couple snaps and stuff than you actually did on that play, because it was the simplest play, one step, and it was just like boom, gone. Yeah. It was crazy.
Life ruined after that. So it's
but you're back now, right? Healthy, no issues. I mean, you don't got Hallie's guaranteed money,
dude,
but you're doing all right.
I'm already, God willing, that I live long enough, I'm gonna have a cane, Jay Rich. I already know it. I know I'm old. I know. It's been on my heart lately, man. Because this is a kid. I'm just telling you, I know I'm gonna have a damn cane. I know it. Standing up all day, my damn kid. I'll be like, man, my leg. I need to sit down. I feel RayGQue's getting old, Jay Rich. You know, I at one point I was a multi-talented 5-sport athlete, and you know, my time in the sun is starting to dim, Jay Rich. But back to the show. I'm going down sad memory lane. I do think other athletes, I mean, everybody was tweeting about this, and they're saying the same thing. Darius Slayton was like, man, calf strains are no joke. Like, NFL players are tweeting about this. This is no joke. This is no joke. It's going to be interesting to see how people kind of react to that moving forward. In the spirit of baseball, though, Jay Rich, we do have to give a shout-out to those Bayou Bengals down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, your Men's College World Series champs, LSU. And I was following this on the phone, dude. They were down. They get to the 9th batter. Boom, home run. They work their way back to beat Coastal Carolina. We don't talk a lot of college baseball on the show, but, man, one of these little GQs is going to be playing college baseball at some point, Jay Rich. So we might as well start to integrate the show with some men's college baseball. But shout out to LSU. Even though this is a trophy from 23, they got it done here in 25. 2 of the last 3 championships in the men's baseball side. So shout out to those Bayou Bengals. And
is that Dylan Cruz, Ray? On the cover? Is that Dylan Cruz?
That is him.
Did you go to LSU?
That is him. Yeah, come on, man. You know baseball, though. You are a baseball guy. You know baseball. Jay, and then the other NBA trade, the other blockbuster heard around the world. What do we got, Jay Rich?
My man, the Slim
Your
Reaper.
man.
Kevin Durant.
Let's
Traded
go.
for a bag of beans.
Stop.
And maybe a grilled cheese sandwich. Kevin Durant was traded for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks. Do you know why, Ray? Because Kevin Durant said, I'm not playing with Dylan Brooks. Get him the hell out of here. 5 second-round picks, and I believe the 10th overall pick is what Houston had in the 2025 NBA draft. You know what's funny, Ray, is the finals is obviously over, and now the draft is coming up. I honestly thought the NBA draft already happened. I thought Cooper Flagg was already on the Dallas Mavericks, and everyone else I just don't really care about. We'll see what happens. But how do you feel about KD going to Houston? Does this make the Rockets contenders? Are you a fan of this team? Do you think they got a shot? And give me all the analysis on everything Houston, because I don't know a damn thing about the Rockets.
You know, Jay Rich, I lived in Houston for quite some time. Went to school down in Houston. So, Jay, I'm kind of a Rockets fan, just a little bit, right?
Really? Really? Wow.
The first time I saw
contacting the Mavericks immediately.
The first time I saw Kobe play was in Houston. He had a game winner when I was at that game. You know,
nice.
I feel like I got to root for the Rockets just a little bit since I resided down in Houston, Jay Rich. So I think it was a good trade for Houston. I thought Houston got the better player in the deal.
No shit.
Goodbye, Jalen Green. No need to deal with that anymore. They didn't want to pay him anyway. I thought it was a good deal for the Rockets. Does it make him a contender? I mean, who the hell's beating OKC right now? I'm still curious what San Antonio's going to do. I think San Antonio is still a real problem.
Got to make a play for Giannis.
KD might team up with Wemby. And here's the good thing about Houston with Amen there, Thompson. Like, he's not going to have to you got a good defender there. You got Ime Udoka as your head coach, defensive-minded coach. All KD needs to do is get buckets. Go score.
Yep.
Like, go get me 28 a game. 28, 29 a game, KD. Go do your job. They got bigs in Houston. I think this is great for the Rockets. It makes them one of the better teams in the West, no doubt. And I believe the NBA championship odds. They've got like the third or fourth best odds right now on
Really?
DraftKings going to win the NBA title next year. I think it's like the Thunder. I don't know who was next, but the Rockets might
Probably
be there.
the Knicks.
Yeah,
Probably
the Knicks. The Knicks were
I
up
believe we're number
there.
two.
And I think the Rockets might actually be third right now, according to Sportsbook. So, yeah. Okay. Now people, I lived in Houston. That's where I met my wife at. Y'all think I be lying? I don't gotta lie to y'all, man. We lived in Jay Rich is shaking it. I know you want to say something. What do you want to say, Jay?
No, I'm good. I know you were in Houston. That's
Thank
where your university was, right? You
Yeah,
were out there
exactly.
For a little bit.
Yeah, come
Where-
on,
where
man.
you,
Third Ward,
studied
Texas,
law and
man.
everything.
Third
Yeah,
Ward,
you're good.
H-Town, Texas Southern University. Come
Third
on.
Ward. There you go.
Third
Everyone in
Ward,
the
Texas.
wards
Come
who
on.
knows all about the wards.
Tony
hit Ray
Holmes
up when
right
you're in the
there.
third
Like,
ward.
come on, man. I was
There you
right
go.
there. Frenchie's right there. Wheeler Baptist Church. Come on, Third Ward.
Okay.
Don't play me.
Wow,
I'm
shout
not
out
gonna
the
lie to
church
y'all.
too.
I just give you the information, right? I'm gonna lie to you,
Yeah.
Jay Rich. What are your
Well,
thoughts though? KD in Houston.
It's interesting, right? It's like you said, they are already a great defensive team. KD's going to add to that for sure. He brings a little bit of length to that team that they kind of needed it. And obviously the scoring is the main thing. They have a go-to guy. Nobody wanted Jalen Green, and somehow Phoenix said, we'll take him. I doubt anyone wanted Dylan Brooks as well, and Phoenix said, we'll take him too. And now, Ray, if I recall correctly of the tweet I saw earlier, 90% of the Phoenix Suns cap is going to Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Jalen Green, which is a recipe for disaster. That team is going nowhere fast. But, well, what are you going to do? You made your bed, now you got to lay in it.
The chat, man. I can't talk about any team. It's only the cat. I can't talk about any. If I talk about the Lamar Jackson, I'm a Ravens fan. I just told you I lived.
You and the Ravens have a long-standing history
I
on
can't
this
talk
show.
about any
Let's be
team.
honest.
No one even brings up the Cowboys. They're so sorry. I haven't seen the Cowboys in the chat once.
cares.
No one even cares about Dallas Cowboys anymore. No one gives a damn. No one makes fun of that anymore. It's every other team that I talk about, man. Jorge from Rhode Island has joined the chat talking trash. Jay, is that all the news? I want to talk a little football. There's some rookie hype going on right now. Some rookie running back hype. Some guaranteed money given out to some of these rookies, and some other hype from the wide receivers. We need to get to it. I need a break, though. This voice is raspy, so we're going to go to break. Bleacher Report every single Thursday. Jay Rich and I are on. Hit that thumbs up button. Like the stream when we get back. More content. NFL. Let's get it, baby. Welcome in, everybody, for another stream over here on Bleacher Report, NFL Daily. You can find Jay Rich and I every single week here on this app.
The moment I say it, they'll say, oh, yuck. And it's got to be Najee Harris, right? It's
That world is in an alternate timeline somewhere in the multiverse. It ain't here on Earth 616 or whatever. It ain't here. Jay Rich and I are on every single Thursday, 7 p.m. Appreciate y'all pulling up. It's Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, Wednesday, Friday right here on the channel. Make sure you join the community over in DDFFB, our fantasy football channel, DDFFB, DD Fantasy Football. Dope shows, Dynasty Deal Show going down every single Friday. I joined this past week, Jay. We were breaking down some trades on the old Dynasty Deal Show. So if you weren't there, make sure you join members only. Jimbo can show you how to get there. Ty DeClaire does a great job with our All Gas Trade Show. So if you want to know what you need to do with that A.J. Brown in your fantasy football leagues, make sure you pull up to the All Gas Trade Show. And then the three gentlemen, Mitch, John, and Dan, the Dynasty Theory crew. Every single week, they're giving you content right there on the channel. So make sure you go to DDFFB on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast feed, hit the thumbs up button, like all that stuff over there, Jay. I've been monitoring his comments, Jay Rich, and I did not appreciate this from Emilio. He said, Ray's got one of those jerseys that's got 4 different teams stitched together. I don't appreciate that, Jay Rich. I would never, ever wear one of them jerseys unless it's my boys, right? Unless the boys end up somewhere, that's the only way I'm doing that, man. That's the only way I'm wearing the stitched together 4-piece jersey. I'm not doing that. We had some other disparaging comments. Oh, GQ, I don't appreciate this, but that's okay. Ray is from Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. I grew up in Vegas. That's home. That's factual home. So part of that is a little bit true, but no ATL in the blood. And then there was one more, Jay. There's one more, and we're going to move on because I don't know what it is, but the people are on me, man. And next team, here's one right here from Anthony. Next team Ray will like is because he did a report on that town in 3rd grade. Okay, Anthony. I see you talking trash as well. Appreciate you being a subscriber. I appreciate you being here on the show. Do not appreciate this comment, though, Anthony. I do not appreciate it from any of y'all, damn it. Jay Rich, Travis Hunter got paid. Travis Hunter got paid. Jay Rich, he got his rookie deal. Signs a massive deal. The deal was worth $46.65 million. Fully guaranteed, includes $30.57 million. Signing bonus paid up front. Travis Hunter is the first non-quarterback, not drafted, first overall, to get his signing bonus entirely up front, according to his agents of Young Money, APAA Sports. Travis Hunter getting the bag up front, Jay Rich. We have not talked Travis Hunter in a while. There were some strong statements made by you on the show that he was a full-time wide receiver and a part-time defensive back. Is this money? Does the bonus? Does the hype? How you feeling about Hunter as we inch closer to training camp and his status as a receiver or defensive back?
I will say, Ray, I'm getting a little nervous.
Are you getting a little nervous?
I'm getting a little nervous. Now, again, I've
Ray.
already made my decisions.
Don't.
I've drafted him pretty high in a few spots, so I'm
Tell me
all
why.
in.
I'm not nervous, but I want to hear. I want to hear why you're a little nervous.
I think it's just I'm not 100% confident yet. I'm not that confident to where I can say I believe he will be a full-time receiver and a part-time corner. I think I just gotta, wait, be patient. I believe right now, in my heart of hearts, I believe that's going to happen. But when training camp comes around and he's playing some DB and he's looking good and the reports are flowing, I'll be like, well, should I be surprised? Should I be surprised that he's looking good as a DB and playing well as a DB? So I will say that I'm excited to watch it all play out. I do have a couple shares, very excited to see what ends up happening. But even on X-Ray, he was announced as a wide receiver.
He was.
And also posted as a corner, as a defensive back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, fine. They're doing all that stuff, giving him all this money, which is good. But I'm a little nervous. Like, it's just a little bit of doubt is creeping in as to whether he can be a full-time receiver at the capacity that we pegged him to be early on.
But really, like, what do you... If you're the Jags, he can't be part-time both ways. I don't think you're maximizing what you're getting for Travis Hunter. Just having him play 25 snaps on offense and 25... It feels like he needs to be predominantly one or the other, and then do the other one in special situations. Yeah. I still think it's receiver, man. I still think that where you drafted him, his ability to track the ball, his ability to catch the ball, I still think in today's NFL, you got to score points. Like, what's more impactful? Your second cornerback, your corner, or one of your primary wide pass catchers to put points up. He's going to play corner. Like, there's no doubt about it. He's going to play corner, and he's going to play receiver. I think the confidence that the Jaguars kind of showed him to give him all his money up front. Hey, you get all this signing bonus up front. You got it, big dog. You weren't the first overall pick. You're not a quarterback, but you got it. He's going to get used, and he's going to be used a lot, Jay Rich. Another rookie making waves right now. And again, we've talked about this player on this show a long time ago, before the hype started. Just his skill set, the opportunity in this offense, in the massive upgrade at the quarterback position. But over the past couple of weeks, it seems like mainstream media is also latching on to the hype from Las Vegas Raiders' new rookie wide receiver, Deontay Thornton, Jay Rich. And there was actually an article on, I believe it was NFL.com, talking about Thornton and his playmaking ability and how he's going to fit in with this Raiders offense. And it absolutely, at least from early minicamp, from OTAs, we can only go off of the information that we have, Jay, but it absolutely seems like this is a player the Raiders want to use, they're going to use, they're going to deploy, and he's going to be a part of a wide receiver room that is very unproven in the first place. So where are you at with this one? You know, there's always, every year you're going to get a wide receiver that slips through the cracks that's much better than the draft capital, that's outkicks his coverage. Geno Smith at the helm. You've got a good running back in Ashton Genty. You've got this 6'4" size, speed specimen that seems to be making plays. Do you think that this kid can make a true impact this year for the Las Vegas Raiders?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you even can go look to what his new OC Chip Kelly said about him. He said, I think Deontay is unique in terms of just, he's a hair under 6'5", and he ran a 4.3. There's not a lot of humans on this planet that can do that. And I think if you draw up an outside receiver, you would pick that type of body, someone that's got length, someone that's got a huge catch radius, but also has speed. And that's the biggest thing here, is that when you have comments like this about this wide receiver, regardless of where he was drafted, and the funniest part, Ray, is that there was a receiver drafted ahead of him, Jack Betch.
Yep.
But he does all of these things that we know that Jack Betch cannot do. He cannot run down the field very fast. He's not quite as big. Now, he does play pretty big and does use his body very, very well, but Thornton is the game breaker that they're going to utilize to stretch the field, to make big plays, and I think that's where you look to him and say, it just makes a lot of sense why you'd want to have him on your team and on your roster. And it's kind of crazy to think that no one else took a shot on him maybe a little bit earlier in the draft. So now you have the Raiders. They need receivers. We know it's going to be Jacoby and Bowers, but don't be surprised if Thornton ends up being that guy outside for them, especially with the comments we've heard about him, not just in rookie minicamp and into, mandatory minicamp. It just has only continued to drive up what should be a pretty big training camp for him. And if he can win that battle against Jack Betch, I don't think he's going to relinquish that spot in the slightest. I think he'll probably run with it, because it seems like from every indication we've got so far, outside of Ashton Genty, he may be the most hyped rookie on the team.
What's the hype or the rumor mill on Jack Betch? Have you seen a lot surrounding Betch, how he's I know we talked about him couple of weeks ago because the contract wasn't finished yet. But what have you heard anything about Besh and what's going on with him?
Well, I haven't seen anything, right? So I looked a little bit before the show, and it's just very silent. And again, that's not always a bad thing. Some reports you see, Jack Betch can be a star. Some say, can he have a starting role right away? But a lot of what you see is that Thornton, at least currently, which can obviously change, seems to be running ahead of Jack Betch. And part of that is the contract dispute. Part of that is him not being on the field as much as, they would probably like. And I'm sure he would probably like as well. But I think the problem now is, instead of having a really fast, raw receiver behind you, if he's running ahead of you and you're already a bit limited in your skill set and your ceiling as a receiver, which Betch kind of is to some extent, it may be harder to get that position back, which you kind of had with the draft capital, but I'm sure you didn't see it playing out this way, and we'll kind of have to monitor the situation. But if he's running behind him in training camp and he doesn't get that spot back, I don't think you see a whole lot of Jack Betch in year one, at least for this Raiders team, because if Thornton's healthy, he's probably going to play.
Right, Jay, let's continue down the rookie hype train, and I think this is one that I've been in on this player the whole time, even through the combine back in February when people were, he only ran a 4.5. He only ran a 4.5 in the 40. Not good, not, too slow, yada, yada, yada. Well, Pittsburgh Steelers drafted Iowa running back Kaleb Johnson, Jay Rich, in the third round of the 2025 NFL draft. And there is some big-time noise coming out of Pittsburgh from head coach Mike Tomlin. Yeah, Rich, Mike Tomlin. Let me just read the quotes from Mike Tomlin about Kaleb Johnson. Kaleb has an awesome skill set. Tomlin said in the latest episode of Steelers docuseries The Standard, he has a unique blend of experience and youth that is very attractive to us. Under Tomlin, the Steelers have had a theme of big backs who are just scratching the surface of their potential. Kaleb Johnson is just the latest. In quotes, from our perspective, it's just really good to do business with a guy that's young and experienced, Tomlin said. Some of the most significant players we've had here during my time kind of fit that bill. Le'Veon Bell, for example, was a third-year junior when he came out of Michigan State. Rashard Mendenhall was a third-year junior when he came out of Illinois. And so those are just a couple of examples of guys that were both young and experienced. Okay, we talk a little bit about Le'Veon breaking out in his final college football season, and then just what Kaleb Johnson is able to do with his size. He fits that classic big back build that the Steelers like. But when you hear this type of praise and profusive, just sort of positivity from head coach Mike Tomlin, how does this make you feel about Kaleb Johnson's upside in 2025, what he could be for Pittsburgh, and how do you think this running back field room of Kenneth Gainwell, you've got Jaylen Warren, Kaleb Johnson, how is this going to play out? Thoughts on these comments about Kaleb?
Well, I mean, the comments are everything you could possibly ask for, right? Anytime you hear Mike Tomlin invoke Le'Veon Bell, especially in terms of recent backs on Pittsburgh, there really isn't anyone better, right? Like, he is the gold standard for not just what you want in a Pittsburgh back, but for everyone who loves him for fantasy football as well. And so now you have a situation where, again, we got two good running backs. We think Jaylen Warren's a good running back. We think Kenneth Gainwell's a good running back, but Kaleb Johnson is your ceiling option if you're Pittsburgh. If you want to win games and you want to compete at the highest level and maybe even somehow compete for that division if Aaron Rodgers is really good, you need Kaleb Johnson to be the best running back you've had in Pittsburgh probably since Le'Veon Bell. You know, he needs to probably be better than Najee Harris, right? Because that's what you're going to need to compete in this division. And honestly, Ray, like, ever since you kind of put me onto him and you kind of showed me what makes him so great, like, I kind of believe he can be that. And so it's just going to matter of now, we have to go into training camp and see, how does the rotation start? Is it going to be Warren, Gainwell, Johnson, which we kind of expect early? And can he work his way up that depth chart throughout camp to where he is the starter by week 1? Because if there's one thing I like about Kaleb Johnson, I do think, based off the comments that we heard from him after the draft, the ones you just mentioned on this show right now, from Mike Tomlin once again, I think he has every shot in the world to be the starting running back in week 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's just going to have to earn it. And I think the best thing for him is that it sounds like he's actually going to get a fair shot to get it, which is where it's a big difference between other spots because, you know, if you're Dylan Sampson, like, you're not going to be the starting running back for the Cleveland Browns, right? Even if you're Travion Henderson, you're not going to be the starting running back for the New England Patriots.
I know people don't want to hear that, but probably not.
Right?
Probably not.
And then even still, we hope RJ Harvey is starting running back for the Denver Broncos, and he probably will be, but there's no guarantee with that as well because of J.K. Dobbins. So I think if you're Kaleb Johnson or you like Kaleb Johnson, you should be pretty excited because I think that of all the rookie running backs that we kind of hyped up and talked about in the top, 5 or 6, he could end up being the best one behind Ashton Jeanty if he earns that starting gig week 1.
Let's play that game. Get your mind out of dynasty value. I don't give a shit about the trade value, okay? Rookie running back production in 2025, okay? Who's going to produce, who's not going to produce? Which offenses have the best environment for these running backs to find success in year 1? I don't care about 2030. I don't give a damn about 2029 and how much trade value you have. Straight RB production, Jay Rich. If I told you, you got to bet your mortgage on it right now. List them out right now. It doesn't matter who you prefer, who you like more, which rookie production top 5 rookie running backs this year. Let's do it right now. Number one is Ashton Jeanty. Number one is Ashton Jeanty, right? Number 1, Ashton Jeanty. He's the one that's in line to get all the work, yards, touchdowns, whatever you want to put on 50, whatever yard. He's number 1. Number 2, the second most productive rookie running back in 2025 will be.
I think it's going to be RJ Harvey. Based off what we have right now, and I think, honestly, part of it for me, Ray, and you know this better than anybody, I love the Denver Broncos. Like, as a team, as a unit, they're probably going to win a lot of games this year. They're probably going to put up a lot of points, and I think RJ Harvey is going to be great. Again, how confident am I in RJ Harvey being number 2? I wouldn't say it's that high. I wouldn't say it's that high, but I think he would be number 2 for me.
You said
3, though.
Yeah, 3. Well, the chat right now, it's all this is what makes this fun. I've just got this pulled up. And I got Judkins, Kaleb, Joe's talking about Kaleb. There's everyone and we also had lunch table legend said we were tripping. He said Travion will start. Y'all cracking me up, cracked up today. He said Travion will start in New England. I don't agree. I do think Ramondre is going to be the starting running back with Travion Henderson. It doesn't mean he's not going to produce, but the guy that's going to be asked to jam it up the A-gap on their own 15-yard line probably won't be Hendo out the gate. It's probably going to be the guy who's been doing that the past 3 seasons, Ramondre Stevenson. I'm with you. Ashton Jeanty won from production. I'm going to go with you. Even with J.K. Dobbins in Denver, I think the second most productive rookie running back this season will be R.J. Harvey, both on the ground and in the receiving game. After that, it gets tough.
Yes.
I think it's tough at 2. But if we're talking straight production, Jay, if you and I are in sync with these are our top 5. We're in sync with the top 2, Jeanty and Harvey. You've got Quinshawn, who looks to be the lead back in Cleveland. And I'm just going to say this. I've looked at people's projections because we don't do projections. A lot of sharp analysts still have Jerome Ford eating up a bunch of touches. I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he should. I'm just telling you what other analysts are saying is that Jerome Ford is still going to get work. So you've got Quinshawn, you've got Harvey, you've got Kaleb, whomever else you want to throw in there. If you want to throw another name, who would be third?
So this is really hard because I feel like I'm just speaking with my heart, and the answer to me is still Travion Henderson. I still believe that Travion Henderson is going to get enough work in this offense, especially in the receiving game, that he can be the third best rookie running back. And it's not because I think he's going to be the third best, like you said, into year 2 and year 3, because that answer would change pretty dramatically for me. But in year 1, I think he does have a very clear path to playing time. He's going to catch passes out of the backfield. And the weird thing for me, Ray, honestly, and maybe you're with me on this, but I think Judkins is pretty clearly in last of all these players.
Really?
Like, it's not that I dislike Judkins, right? But there is another rookie running back there that probably will play a little bit. Jerome Ford is there. And let's not just excuse the elephant in the room that this team is terrible. This is one of the worst teams in the NFL, period. They are vying for the number 1 overall pick with everything that we saw. You don't trade down from 2 to 5 if you're trying to win, right? Like, that's just not how this is going to work. So unless something drastically changes and they somehow are a great team, which I don't think anyone would really expect, I just don't know where the points are going to come from. Because, again, if he's not catching 40 passes and he's probably not scoring 7 or 8 touchdowns, how is he going to outscore a player like Henderson, who's probably going to see 100 carries and catch 50 passes and will score some touchdowns, but catching that many passes is going to nullify what you may get on the ground. He'll score some touchdowns as well. So that's where I struggle. So 3 for me would be Henderson. So I need your thoughts on Hampton versus Johnson, because what is your confidence that Hampton can take over the backfield at some point this season? Because that's where I struggle. I struggle with
low confidence, and I think I think Hampton's better than Najee, but I don't envision a world where Najee's just on the bench. Like, I don't see that happening. I do not see that in the range of Pittsburgh, in the range of Los Angeles Chargers backfield outcomes, is that it's all Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris gets rendered
Najee.
I don't think that's happening. Not this season. Like, not this year. Not in his rookie year. And if you're the Chargers and you really do have that type of belief and confidence in what Omarion Hampton can become, the last thing you want to do is, if you've got another hammer, to take a little bit of that wear and tear off of him. Why not use Najee? He's on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Why not give him some of those, I don't want to call them bad touches, but just sort of those innings eater, gobble them up touches,
the short
right?
yardage stuff, right?
Like,
trust the veteran to get the first down.
Yeah, listen, I think a lot of people who, I'm just thinking about the offensive situations and a realistic sort of workload for these running backs. Jeanty, Harvey, 1, 2, 3, I would probably have Kaleb Johnson. I know a lot of people are talking about Jaylen Warren. How many years are we going to do this? I mean, every year, Jaylen Warren's going to get more and more, like, he is who he is. Like he's not that type of running back. He's fine, right? He's good at what he does, but Jaylen Warren's not going to keep. If Kaleb Johnson is good, a Jaylen Warren ain't going to keep him off the field. It's not happening. So for me, with Aaron Rodgers, with the limited receiving core outside of DK and even him masquerading around as a number one, I don't know. I still want to see it personally. I would have Kaleb Johnson third. Kaleb Johnson third.
So you're making that bet today that
for
he's the starter, basically.
Just production this year, yes, I would have him third. Henderson and Judkins right there, and probably Hampton like last for production this year. And I like Hampton more than any of these guys, but just as far as what they're going to produce on the field, I think I would have Hampton behind Judkins this year.
Yeah, I mean that's tough because the Chargers, even their backup running back, could outscore what you get from Cleveland's starter. Like, because that's just how bad Cleveland is and how much better we should expect from the Chargers.
I think Judkins is going to be really good in Cleveland. I really do.
Okay,
I really do. I just also know, like these running backs that you don't think are very good. You'll wake up, Sunday's here, week one, and you're like, oh my God, why does Rachaad White keep getting touches? Why does this player keep getting the ball? Why does that? They're not going to just use one guy. It just doesn't, unless you're Derrick Henry, goddamn James Conner. No one gets used like that, right? Saquon Barkley. If you're not those guys, you're going to use multiple running backs. So this is, production-wise, it's interesting to see all the different names, and I love it. I love the debate. Here goes one right here. We've got Harvey, Judkins, Genty, Henderson, Johnson, Hampton. I don't believe that's production order, but maybe from P-October. Maybe. But let's see what else to say. A lot of people this is sparking a lot of debate here. Here's one from Phil. I think you underestimate the offensive efficiency of the Chargers versus Cleveland, New England, or Pittsburgh. Hampton has to be up there even if Najee is annoying. I don't disagree with this. It's what makes it tough because I'm just thinking about sheer volume and opportunity, and I don't think Omarion Hampton's going to get more just raw volume than Harvey. I don't think he's going to get more raw volume than Judkins or Kaleb Johnson. But if the offense is better, which I believe the Chargers offense is better than Cleveland, I think we would both agree with that. Johnson and the Steelers offensively, I don't know.
Biggest wild card in the NFL right now offensively is the Steelers offense, because is Rodgers good? Is Kaleb Johnson the starter? And like for me, that's where, kind of going back to that ranking is, I have Hendo at 3. I think I would have Hampton at 4.
Ahead of
Johnson at 5, because again, you're weighing it from the perspective that you kind of think he starts relatively close out the gate or at week 1. I wouldn't say I'm there yet today. In August, I may change my tune depending on kind of how things look. But today I would probably have Hampton ahead of him just because of the efficiency. Even if he's the backup, he'll probably still play quite a bit in that 2-back system. Versus Johnson, we really don't know how much he would play because he could be the third stringer for the first few weeks of the season, depending on how things go in training camp.
I don't know how many fucking times I'm not bugging on Hampton. I'm not saying that can I make it? I can't make it any more clear. I love Hampton.
It's funny that you're getting shit for this argument when this was like my whole argument about Hampton in April and May.
This has nothing to do with what I think they're going to be for their NFL career. I'm talking about just for this season. Just because he was a round 1 running back, they went. The first thing they did in free agency was sign Najee. So what does that mean? I know where he was picked. I know how good he is. I'm also looking at and see, we do this a lot, Jay. We overhype these rookie situations, and then you get to the season and you're like, oh man, JSN's not getting 25 targets a game as a rookie. He stinks. Move him down the ranks. It's just trying to bring some perspective and level set expectations with folks and talk through that. But it is, I can assure you it's not because I dislike Omarion Hampton. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Trust me.
Yeah. So that's kind of the balancing act with this offense as a whole is like, if Kaleb Johnson starts, right? Like if you're telling me he's a starter, he's probably at 3. Like I'm probably with you. He's probably at 3 because at that point you're projecting him to get probably 250 carries on the season, catch a few passes, probably be the goal line back just based off how big he is relative to the other guys versus like Hampton. Someone in the chat was saying, asking about, Henderson versus Hampton, because Hampton's probably going to score more touchdowns, but there's also a world where Najee scores all the touchdowns on the goal line, and Hampton has to break off those bigger runs to really get those touchdowns. So it just depends on kind of how they ultimately use those guys, and we'll find out a bit more as the offseason goes along. But yeah, I think the problem for me is that Cleveland needs to be a little bit better, I think, for Judkins to return that value. And that's just how I feel. But some people don't agree. They think Judkins will be good enough. And the way I see it playing out, a lot of defense, a lot of ball control, and not a lot of points for Cleveland. Right? Because that's how they're going to win games. They're going to win games.
I saw Scadaboo's name pop up in here, Jay Rich. I'm just going to say this.
I saw Kyle Manungai.
I'm drafting the hell out of Tyrone Tracy. I want as much Tyrone Tracy as I can get. I'm telling you, this, y'all, we do it I know it's tough to do it in the moment, right? We don't want to look in the rearview mirror. We want optimism, hope, rose-colored glasses, looking forward. Just go back. Like, dude, every year this happens. I mean, people, you think I'm
crazy.
I've got receipts. Trey Benson to be the starting running back by week 4. No way James Conner's going to have that job all year.
That Trey Benson.
No chance. You saw that size, speed specimen out of Florida State, and he returns kicks. My God, David Johnson 2.0. He's going to take. James Conner's slow and he stinks. You look up week 17, and there he is getting 30 touches, 30 damn rush attempt. We do it every year. I'm seeing, Jay Rich, I'm willing to bet this. I saw somebody say, Judkins and Sampson would just be the thunder and lightning out the gate. I bet you $1,000 Jerome Ford out-touches goddamn Dylan Sampson this year. I bet you he does. I bet you.
Probably.
And you'll look up at the end and be like, oh my God, I had no idea. Didn't think that would happen. We do this every year. I'm excited too. But just because you don't score 1 billion points in your rookie season doesn't mean that you're a bad prospect. Doesn't mean you're a bad player. And doesn't mean that you can't ascend to that next level going into year 2, year 3. But the expectation in year 1, you're talking about 4th round, 5th round, Jaden Blue is going to just take over the backfield. It just doesn't happen. It just does not happen like that, man.
Yeah, no, it's very rare, but that's what training camp's for. That's what preseason's for. That's what we're for, right? For the people, to make sure that they get the right information, because we would not be telling you that Trey Benson was going to start over James Conner. It would never happen, and we know that's not going to happen. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how these things play out for these rookies and some of the other guys as well, right? Like, we are excited to see what happens. Like, what happens with Jarquez Hunter and some of these other lesser running backs, right?
Now we get now it's this, right? This is the copium, right? Benson was a 3rd round pick and Conner was actually good. Yeah, he's actually good now after the season is ended and you see what he did. Now he was actually good. But the narrative going in was he was going to take over for James Conner. Like, I do this. This is what we do every day. Like, that was the narrative around the Benson Conner backfield going into last season. Like, we just did this. Did this.
Absolutely insane that someone.
And I'm not comparing Benson to Hampton.
Conner was actually good, and Najee Harris was average. Najee Harris's stats last season: 263 carries, 1,043 yards, 6 touchdowns, 36 receptions. James Conner's stats: 236 carries, 1,094 yards, 8 touchdowns, 47 receptions. Really not a big difference between those two players in what they did last season.
It's just personal. People just talking out backside of the behinds, man. It's all just whatever your perception is of the player. Conner's good, Najee stinks. Hit the music, man. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
That's it.
Let's get out of here.
That's the show.
That's the show. Get us out of
here.
Rookie hype. We're gonna keep doing this. There was no consensus in the chat. None whatsoever. But hell of a mic drop. Hell of a way to end the show. Jay Rich, get us out of here, baby.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday, of course. Like and subscribe to the stream. And let's not forget, Ray, another great show coming on Wednesday, I think, and I'll pitch it to you after we're done. Maybe some 2026 talk coming very, very soon to a wake-up show near you, because everyone is asking for your 2026 thoughts, Ray. But until next time, check out all the great content on DDFFB. Subscribe over there and become a member so you can watch Ray on the Dynasty Deals show, and more great content coming soon. Dynasty Theory tonight over there, so check that out. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. We're out. Peace.
Peace.